Let's give you a fully accurate and detailed breakdown on the Blizzard plus LavaLoon combination for you to use for 3 stars. First things first, you gotta read a base before you ever send your Blizzard Lalo in. So you're always looking for an area of the base to send your Blizzard in. What I mean by this is you want to lure out the enemy CC. You will also look for chain alongside the town hall. Now, if there is 2 tile gaps in between the town hall and everything else within the compartment, then you might not want to send it into this area. It's very dangerous, and there could be giant bombs that will send your super wizards to the Shadow Realm if you're not careful. So you will want to then go ahead and use your Blizzard in a different location if that's the case. Still look for an area to lure out the CC, but try to remove as many structures around there as you can. From the Blizzard, you go into your heroes. They're looking for the enemy queen or the enemy royal champion. Go in for only one of them. If they're both together, then that's a different story. In order to do this, you'll send your king and queen on one side of where you sent your Blizzard in. You will then try and get the most amount of value from your king, queen, and royal champion before you send the LavaLoon portion in. This is where you'll finally remove the final enemy hero that you left up, whether that's the queen or royal champion, and easily clear through with the LavaLoon portion. This is pretty much the plan that you will want to go with really any base. But let's go into some more specifics. From base reading, let's specifically look at an anti-2. In this base in particular, the attacker noticed that you could easily lure out the CC with the use of a Blizzard. Not only that, but the Blizzard could easily remove the town hall within its own isolated compartment. Not only that, but the other part on the other side of either side of the town hall has chain value. And these are things that you'll want to look at. Since I said that they were the exact same, you could actually use the Blizzard on either side since the queen and royal champion are pretty much in the same positions. When you send your Blizzard in, you will be starting off with a Lava Hound. This is going to look for any seeking air mines, then you can send your battle blimp right behind it. The main goal is to get to the town hall. If there's a sweeper, then use the freeze spell to deal with the sweeper. Use a rage and invisibility to make it easier to remove not just the town hall, but also your other structures. Try to time your invisibility spells every 4 seconds if you are able to do so. You should always try to lure out the CC, which is another big thing that you'll want to do. Otherwise, you should be able to clear a compartment like this, and not only that, lure out the CC. Now, of course, the next part of your attack is going to be sending in your heroes. Use a baby dragon in order to clear one part of your funnel so your heroes are actually able to work themselves down to the enemy royal champion, like in this case. Using a headhunter to deal with the enemy barbarian king will help the heroes move forward, dealing with the enemy CC and making it a little bit easier as you work yourself in. The attacker here is going in for some other extra defenses. This includes the Eagle Artillery, and it makes life really easy as he works his way across. This is where you could also use your Royal Champion to help the heroes, your King and Queen, get much more value. Her goal is just to move in, help create a bit more of a path, that way you can move through. Using the Barbarian King ability here to easily remove some other buildings just kind of speeds up that process. But now the attacker here is sending in the LavaLoon portion. Now within the LavaLoon portion, you're going to send in a Lava Hound with a couple balloons right behind. It could be a large amount or a very small amount. You don't really need to surgically place them, but make sure that everything is able to work together. An early Grand Warden ability will allow you to keep your balloons alive, and you don't need to use it through the poison, so that's even better. But you will then use haste spells to get to very key defenses. Air defenses, wizard towers, multi-infernos, and scatter shots are the most important buildings to get over to. Freeze spells against multi-infernos, because usually there are going to be red air bombs around those spots, so be very careful of those. Otherwise, you should have either an invisibility or no more spells left over. This should allow you to protect your Royal Champion a little further, get a couple more defenses down before being taken out. Now the final part is the cleanup. The minions and lava pups will clean up the rest of the base, while you have other instances such as the Queen and maybe even balloons to help clean up. Now, hitting an anti-3 is different from hitting an anti-2. Mainly because the town hall is offset. So you will want to look at the town hall placement alongside the CC. In this case, the attacker is able to easily lure out that clan castle, but not only that, take a look at what is around the town hall. If you notice that there are 2 tile gaps, these could be areas where there are giant bombs. The reason this is safe is there is a lot of chain value around this area, making it very viable. So in this case, the attacker is going to go in from this side. Why is he starting here? So we can then send the heroes in for the royal champion. This is something that we'll talk about a little bit later on in this replay. Using the blizzard to go in for the town hall doesn't matter if it pops a little further away, like in this case. Making sure to get chain is important. In this case, the attacker also lures out a Lava Hound CC, which is just pretty much a tank CC. Otherwise, you can easily get rid of it, and that could actually help your attack a lot. Turning the Super Wizards invisible and dealing with all the other remaining structures will allow you to get more value with your Blizzard. From your Blizzard, you're now sending in your heroes. Their main goal is to go in for the Royal Champion, like I mentioned. This is why the attacker here is sending the heroes into the spot near the scatter and the Royal Champion. That is where he started the Blizzard, and this is where he'll be sending his heroes in. As he's able to get value from this, using a Ice Golem to tank for your heroes as they work themselves across. As you're dealing with this, you want to make sure that you're getting the most value from your heroes. This is mainly not only the Royal Champion or Enemy Queen, but also something like the Scatter Shot and the multi-target Infernos. These are always things that's important, but you're also creating some pathing from this, which is super dang important. Now, don't wait for your heroes to die, or otherwise you will get a time fail. So try quickly to get through, and as long as you know that the heroes are going to get enough value, you can start your LavaLoon portion. But for the most part, you just want to make sure that you are allowing your heroes to get the most amount of value. Now, from your hero dive, you're now going into the LavaLoon portion. In order to do this, you're going to start with 1 Lava Hound and send in a couple groups of balloons to outside defenses. This is something that is incredibly important that you will want to do when you're starting this off. Treat this as a river. This is your first river, and you want to wait as they get through buildings. One of the biggest fails that you'll have is sending in another river that is disconnected and will die out without the help of the balloons from the first group. So this is what the attacker does here. He sends in balloons to go in across into this area, but they don't necessarily clear much because they lack the support of the first group. This first group is still going to be able to move in for these other structures. This is where freezing up something like the Scatter Shot, it can be very much viable. Just trying to freeze up Splash is super important. You want to use a Grand Warren ability to get through the Eagle Artillery since those shots are really deadly. As you work yourself though, try to use the haste spells to get to air defenses and other big key defensive structures. You want to make sure though that you are able to get to the multi-target Infernos. Usually if it's in the core of the base, especially on an anti-3, there's going to be traps, red air bombs to be exact. So try to be very careful of that. Otherwise, you also just need to have cleanup, and that is where the minions come into play right behind. Unfortunately, they found a red air bomb and they all died alongside the archers there, so be really careful about where traps are placed, but this will still allow you to get a 3-star against an anti-3 base. And with that, be sure to check out one of my previous videos, the Zap Witch breakdown, if you're still new to that type of attack. Otherwise, make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and I'll be catching you in the next video. Corrupt, signing out.